Hey friends, so I had someone ask me if I would make a video and share my story, and so this is what I'm doing. I'm going to share my story with you. Let me turn the TV down here. So I started this business about 2.5 years ago in May, and it's been a blessing. Let me tell you a little bit about my background, where I came from. Nursing has always been my passion. I love doing it. I've done a few different things in the medical field. I just call myself a medical professional. I've worked with doctors in a clinic. I've worked at the Chattanooga Heart Institute. I've done things at Stonecrest. I've been a sleep technician, and I've done many, many different things. So, my husband and I, we got married at a very young age, and I guess we kind of, tried to fit into a lifestyle that really wasn't ours. We would kind of try to keep up with the Jones and do different things, and we wanted new vehicles and a house, and hindsight's 2020, and you can't really tell someone how to live. They have to learn their own lessons. So that's one of my mottos in life: is I can give you all the advice I can, but sometimes it's best if you learn for yourself. So needless to say, we got ourselves into a nice hefty bit of debt. And there was, I loved my job. We had a little girl named Caitlin at the time. We were married 3 years, and then she came into our life, and of course, we did daycare. I grew up knowing my parents working, both of them, and so it just kind of came naturally. That's exactly what we were going to do. And I missed a whole lot with Caitlin whenever she was in daycare. I loved where she went. I knew the people that watched her, and she got to do her first steps there. She got to just do all the firsts that I missed out on. First words, first steps, just cute little things that I would miss out on, but they would tell me whenever I picked her up after work. So anyway, we decided that we were going to buy this huge house, and I had a really good job in sleep medicine. Love my bosses and who I worked for. But things happen, and you think that people in the healthcare field are secure, but they're not. They could lose their job too. Could they find another one more easily? Perhaps. It's kind of what happened. The sleep center that we worked at, it closed, it shut down. And I was able to get a job fairly quickly at the hospital, but for half the pay. So there went our main income, cut in half. And we had 2 homes. Needless to say, we were in foreclosure. It was embarrassing. We were in the paper. People could see that our house was being foreclosed on. And it was embarrassing. And you had debt collectors calling, and you just hide. You cringe. I'm smiling about it now because it's sad is what it was. I smile because I think I could still feel that feeling, that all you want to do is sleep or cry and not answer the phone. So needless to say, we moved back. We were able to sell our home on a short sale. That was perfect. It was nice. It was a blessing. We got rid of that thing. We still had nightmares with it a couple years later. And we moved back to our old house, and we spent, I guess, a year or so there, but we were still playing catch up. That's a hard game to play. And so I think the only way that we could see ourselves getting out of our situation, we were able to sell our vehicles. We drove older things, not brand new things. We didn't have 2 car payments, a house payment. One thing that we didn't have is credit cards, really. I'm thankful for that. I always had learned that credit cards are the devil, so I stayed away from those. But lines of credit, we kind of didn't. But needless to say, the only way we could see ourselves getting out of all this debt was literally to sell our house, go live with someone, become homeless, literally. And we had 2 kids then. Garrett was still little. Whenever we did this, I think he was coming out of diapers and wearing big boy underwear. So if you can imagine the just being the unknown, you're about to sell your home. You're not making any profit of it. You're just trying to get out of it, because trying to catch up on everything, we got behind on that too. So we did. We took a leap, and my husband and I have had everything stacked up against us that we possibly could. Most people would have buckled and broke and probably ended up divorced, but my husband's very strong. I love him. We fought a lot. I won't deny that. We did. And I guess we place blame on each other too, but nevertheless, we're the strongest now. And he's the kind of man who will do whatever he needs to, take on as many jobs to make sure at least we have food, water, and whatever we need to survive. So needless to say, long story short, I was in another direct sales company at this time, and I thought that was my savior. But it turned out, whenever we would do our taxes, that was a money pit. I love it. It's great. I'm not ever downing that company. That company taught me so much as far as work ethic that I needed. I had to have that company before I did It Works. Because if I didn't, I don't know that I would work for myself so hard, and I would be so diligent in how I do work my business and how I set up my daily schedule, because this is a job. We're taxed just the same as my husband's business with construction. So if I did not have that business, if I did not learn the hard way, if I did not experience some of those things, I cannot promise that I would be as successful with this, because I wouldn't have taken myself seriously. I will let opinions of others validate my life, even though they don't even pay my bills. I probably would have done that. I would have let that happen. And so we got rid of that, totally wiped that out. I had a big team with that. I was successful with that as far as promoting in the company, making money in the company, not so much. And rank does not always make the bank, friends. You could be a car driver in red jacket, whatever. It doesn't always make the bank. And you'd be surprised how many things are in there that take away from your income just to be commission qualified or to keep a car or something like that. But nevertheless, I found this on social media, wanted to try it, and I didn't try it first. I had a friend and who we were going to go to the same party, and nevertheless, I didn't make it, but I got my hair done. She did my hair the next day. And we were talking about it, and everyone in the salon was asking questions while we were talking about it. She sold 5 wraps while I was sitting there. I realized that was $125 that I didn't have, and I could not do that in a day with Mary Kay. Selling product. At a party, I could, but I had to be there for so long. And I wasn't always guaranteed money just for showing up with my product and showing people about it. And this, all she did is talk about it, and she sold it right there, and it was literally not even an hour. So I went home and I signed up immediately. And that's been a lifesaver for us. We were living with my mother-in-law for 6 months, and I started really making good money with this, and it was paying the bills, paying back debt off, and giving us the ability to do things for my husband's business that we couldn't do before. So it launched us into, let's just say, a house. We were able to totally rebuild a home, and this is, a beautiful home. It's ours. We built it with our own hands, but this opportunity gave us that opportunity. So I'm not homeless anymore. I'm in a beautiful home. We're driving newer vehicles. One is paid for. We're working on paying the other one off. Almost all of our debt is paid for, especially if it had interest and it was to a creditor. That is all almost paid for. I've went from behind on the bills to, I've made, $6,000 in a monthly average. It's what a double diamond, makes on average. So that alone is crazy. And I'm not even at the top of the company yet. There's still so much room for growth. And I can't wait to hit my next goal, which is triple diamond. And let's just bite our nails here. A triple diamond on average makes about $10,000 a month. What could you do with that? I don't spend it all on me. It's the thing. And people will say that money isn't everything, and that's the truth. It's not. But it can offer you freedom. It can offer you peace of mind. It can offer you happiness with your spouse. You're not arguing over something. It can offer you chances to do things with your children that you never thought you would be able to do. Like this fall break, we're going to go to Disney World. It's our second time Caitlin's been, but I'm going to tell you it's going to be the first time on our dime. The first time I'm thankful for my family and my parents, because they are so giving as well, and they took us the first time. So it just makes you more of who you already are. And I'm a giving person. I like helping other people. I usually use money for that benefit. If things in the community come up, I like helping our local community action. People, they suffer hardships all the time in life and, end up having to stay in the hospital. Unfortunately, there's been many that have had a hardship in their life, so much that it's dramatically changed their entire family. They might have lost children, which really always pulls at my heart. And I could only imagine that if that ever happened, the last thing on their mind is to pay their electric bill or to pay their house payment. So I, feel like I can actually help with those kind of things. And I've been able to do that. So excuse the ugly face now and the ugly tears. But if I didn't have this, I couldn't help those people like that. And I couldn't help others in the community whenever they've might been hit with a situation that I have. And if sometimes you feel like there's no way out of that. It's a hole. It's terrible. And that's my thing. It works is amazing for me, and I can't wait to see where this company's going. We have so many amazing things that are coming up and coming out, and I love that our CEO his focus is to help us get out of debt and to help us strengthen our families, our community, and ourselves. And so, if you haven't heard of the Get Out of Debt bonuses, they're amazing. The products work. I am a product of the product. You just have to actually make a lifestyle change and utilize it and do it. Something doesn't sit in a bottle or sit on a shelf and work because you look at it. It works because you use it, you take it, and you develop a lifestyle, and you make the choice to live healthy. And I like that our company is really working to make that a reality for everyone, get everyone to where they can live longer, live passionately, live compassionately, and help others. So I can't wait. Conference is coming up in February. So you're going to be seeing my face plastered all over the place on that and sharing stuff. So my message to you is I hope that you can take my story and see how you can relate it in your life, or you may know someone who needs something like this in their life. I would love to have them on my team and to talk with them and to just show them the tools that they can use to make this a reality. It is a work for it business. It's a job. It's not going to come to you just because you wish it would. But I hope you guys have an amazing day. And I'm sorry for the ugly face and the tears and the crying. That's, I guess, my why right now. And I love that my children can see and help with that, because this world needs more givers. It needs more loving, compassionate people. So that way we can eradicate and wipe out all of this crap that you're seeing in the news and on TV and the hate that's coming from people. So my why first was them and to make sure that they were fed. Now my why is to make sure they are strong, loving, compassionate people, and they can help me in making that difference in other people's lives as well. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Please share my story, especially if it's touched your heart. You're more than welcome to leave a comment. I would love to hear about, things that you are working for and you hope that you can do in the future if there's stuff like that. And I love you all. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing, blessed day.